the Gotti family was obviously public and private in a lot of ways. The public knew a lot about the infamy of John Gotti, but obviously not the private dealings of his life. So how did you as actors fill in the gaps of knowledge where there was very little known about his very, very private life? How did you go about like really bringing forth a powerful performance?
Well, you know, for me, as an actor, I had to connect to something, and I truly connected to his loyalty. I know what that's about. I understand it. Love for his family. He's a man of the people, and he has a certain intensity that, thank God, I was fortunate to be born with. Because I don't think you can play John Gotti without that animal thing inside. Truly, I think you got to have that. So, and we have my darling daughter.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's different for Victoria because there is a lot of footage of her. I can watch her show, which I binged, and love growing up Gotti, and YouTube clips and her book, obviously. So for me, I think it was more of a mixture of with all of this information and also being able to meet her and also taking my own, creative freedom and my own body and how that responds to being her. So it was more of a collaboration of the two.
And I was thinking about that. Chelsea, the pressure she has is that Victoria's right there. It's like if I had to do it in front of John Gotti, it would be very tough. So that's a lot of pressure for her. Pressure that I had was there's nothing on him except one video. There's actually two videos, but I only used one in my head, and that's that pressure. So we both had pressures, but in a different way.
Totally.
Right.
Totally. Yeah.
See, I am smart. Sometimes
You are smart. You have your moments.
So your character always tells his daughter, stay strong, be strong.
Yeah.
He didn't really like weakness. Do you think that in a way he'd regret telling her that once she stood up to her father and said, you know what, I'm dating this man, Carmine is the love of my life, there's nothing you can do about it, because she fought hard for that. Do you think at any point in time the father regretted that decision to make his daughter so strong and independent in that sense?
I don't. That's a good question. I don't think he. I think maybe he's so old school that he only did what he knew how to do in his own way. So he was going to make her strong. I think maybe inside, by her sometimes being, I don't know if I played it that way, but I think maybe deep down, the fact that she was tough made him feel kind of good.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, right. But because he was old school, he don't want to show it. But I think inside he's probably going, oh, that's my daughter,
Well, it's like the scene where, it's very emotional and traumatic. Then it happens to Victoria and she dyes her hair blonde. That's like the kind of transformation. Yeah. And I come in and like my mom's like, oh, like not into it. And he was just like, I love it. It was so funny. It was so funny, but you could tell he was just like, yes, like, or what I took from it was
you're right.
Like moving on from something and standing back up even in the face of,
Yeah.
trauma and, yeah.
Is there anything interesting or out of the ordinary that you learned both about the character that you played and also yourselves while immersing yourselves into this role?
Well, I learned that under the amount of pressure I put on myself, not to mention just pressure, that I could overcome it.
Yeah.
The help of my wife, Catherine, the director, but that's what I learned the most, that I could, even though there was times where I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Dig in, keep going, and you can do it, and it's over, and it's done, and you did it.
I actually felt very similar. I was so nervous to play somebody from ages 15 to 35. I'm in my 20s, and like it was very daunting to think of playing somebody like so young and innocent, and I was so nervous, and it was definitely just, you know, go forward, move forward. We made this within a month. Like there was no time.
3 weeks.
Yeah, like there was no time to second guess yourself, and it was moving so fast that it was like you have to get it. And I know like Maurice, I feel like you are such a pro at that. Whereas like I feel like I sometimes just like get caught up in myself. I'm like, well, wait, can we do it again? And they're like, no, we have to make the day. So I learned a lot about how to move quickly and just trust your gut, like trust your instincts, and it will come. Like you can do all the work beforehand, you can do the prep, you can research these characters, you can research these people, but at the end of the day, you gotta trust yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Was there any one scene that was emotionally triggering or emotionally draining for you to tap into? Because there was a lot of highs and lows in that movie. There was a lot.
The last scene, which is the second day, I dedicate that to my daughter because I couldn't get it. It's a scene that I auditioned with, and I couldn't get it, and then I finally tapped into telling my daughter that I don't tell her enough how proud I am of her being in college and things, and so then when I auditioned with that in mind, I got it, I nailed it, and then when I was with her, and it was so difficult because we were in glass and we couldn't hear each other.
It was
so we're mimes. We're like, and I'm like, what the?
It's like the most dramatic movie.
I'm like, yeah. It was the last scene of the movie, and I said, Catherine, because I didn't really know. I said, are we gonna be able to talk, like hear each other? And she got a little embarrassed. She's like, no. We have to. It's just the way it is in here. I said, okay, so I don't hear her. She don't hear me. Okay, so, but that scene with Chelsea was my favorite scene because I was thinking of my own daughter, and it just felt right. I was looking at her eyes, even though it was glass, it was thick-ass glass like this.
Yeah, no, we really did still connect though. I mean, I remember looking at you like it's a very vivid memory as well.
It got me, yeah. It was, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Final question. What do you think was the public's fascination with the Gotti family, and what do you think the Gotti family legacy will be?
Wow. I think the fascination, I mean, like, I come from the East Coast, like, everybody talks about the Gottis. People are really just so obsessed and fascinated with like the mob in general. Mm-hmm. I think it definitely comes from this like allure and this, you know, the fact that they're all just like very like family centric and like give off this like scary vibe. But I think when you get to know them, like it really is just the family at its core. I mean, they're all just working with Victoria and hearing her, you know, talk about her grandson and her kids, like that is the joy of her life. And that's what I took away from meeting her, is that like they just, through thick and thin, whatever happens, it's just really unconditional love for each other, and it's very admirable.
And I'll say my fascination, even though my wife's probably gonna, I don't care. This is the fascination that I see. I got a few followers, you know, on Instagram. And
it's just got a few. Just a few.
And if I put on any other project I've done in the last 2-3 years, nobody cares. Okay? I got a movie coming out with Mickey Rourke, and the horror movie. It's gonna be in theaters. Nobody cares. Okay? I mean, I shouldn't say that, but at this point, right? I put out this. Unless I put out General Hospital, the movie, I get nothing. I put out John Gotti. I put out one thing of John Gotti when I was in Canada. I got in trouble by Lifetime. It was just the cover that said Maurice Benard, John Gotti. People went berserk. Okay? I put on something else recently, berserk. Mm-hmm. So that's the fascination. people, they just love John Gotti even though he's dead. They love Victoria, they love the whole family. They love Chelsea especially, because, you know, she's a...
So nice.
But I think, I can't judge it any other way. Because I look at my thing and I go, damn!
So what's his legacy? What's the Gotti family
This
legacy?
movie.
Okay.
People are going to remember this movie for the next 150 years.
150.
Would you say for a lifetime?
For a lifetime.
That was
That's
good.
it. That's it.
I wish I'd have thought of that. Dang.
It's yours now forever.
All right.
Thank you. We'll take it.
Lifetime.
Thank you so much.